Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. It is Monday. It's deadline day. We are hoping you're all happy. You know, we've got so much to talk about. The stories are dropping thick and fast. And we've got a lot to get through, guys. Welcome back. Please do smash the like button like you always do. You always do it. I don't even know why I need to ask, because you just do it out of like the love of the game, because content's got a content and likes have to be liked. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to participate in the chat, all you got to do is sub to the channel and then jump across. It's very, very simple. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment thick and fast. Let us know your thoughts. Keep us updated, because when we're talking, things are dropping we may be not aware of before you lot. And also, guys, if you are interested in the audio version of all of this stuff that we do here on Football Inc., you can find us on Apple Pods and on Spotify, where you can actually watch it back as well. We do the video version on Spotify. So please get over there, smash us a follow, and smash us a 5-star rating. I feel like I'm in better shape in the last 20 minutes. I've got over the initial awkwardness of the last show where I was a little bit weird. Anyway, we're back. Johnny, he's on location. Maybe he's going to find out if Ange Postecoglou is going to sign on the dotted line with Nottingham Forest. Maybe that's not going to happen. But Johnny, how's your holiday, mate? Good to see you.
All good, all good. I've got I've got an internet signal that's probably akin to Africa at the turn of the century. Honestly, it's absolutely shambolic. So if you hear me stuttering or freezing, I'm only in Europe. I'm in Corfu, beautiful Corfu. If you can see a bit behind, it might be a bit blurred. But listen, I'm absolutely buzzing, Sean. We'll go into our second teams. All had a good weekend. We all did very well. And as a Spurs fan, I'm absolutely buzzing. You've heard Sean and I talk a lot about Kolo Muani. Will someone jump in and steal the deal? No, I only want Juventus. And at the midnight hour, they closed the door and said, "I'm sorry, we love you, but we can't afford you." So Spurs have jumped in, and it's a fantastic deal for Spurs. Although I'll be honest, Sean, I would have liked to have seen an option or an obligation, because what I'm obviously scared of is I believe he'll come in and he'll hit the ground running like he did at Juventus, and then we're just tearing him up for someone else and for PSG. But the loan fee is a measly 5 million. I mean, what can you get in this market for 5 million loan? There's
more to that story we've got to unpack, though, mate, because I'm not as excited as you are unless I get clarification about the intent behind it. We'll talk about that in just a second, though, Johnny. But before we get into it, guys, today's video is sponsored once again by the awesome people over at OK Jersey. Please, if you are looking for, on this channel, we like to support several teams. We hope that you have got yourselves on board some of the teams that you lot, as the audience, have been offered via the luck of the draw, the spinning wheel of lottery doom. And if you want to go and support those teams, if you want to find any particular shirts that you want to get, okjersey.com is the place to get it. If you want to use the QR code on your camera, if you're watching this on a TV or whatever else, you can scan the QR code and get yourself to okjersey.com. £15, give or take, is the basic average price for a shirt, and they are absolutely impeccable. And if you use the code FINC, think like football, like think, but with if you've got like a weird, speaking problem, think, then you can get an 8% discount on what is already unbelievable value. We gave away 3 shirts on Friday's show. And for those people that have emailed me that detail or reached out to Johnny, I was out on Saturday all day and basically all of Sunday as well. I was out of contact. So I will get back to those. I'm going to send them off. You'll get your shirts very soon. Let me go and organize that for you. Don't have a giveaway today, but we have loads of giveaways for you throughout the month. And so if you do fancy getting yourself some clobber, then okjersey.com is the place to get it. Johnny, only one place to start, mate. And it is, of course, the Kolo Muani. I know how we've spoken about him, like, as you said correctly, for months and months and months. Obviously, he didn't choose us in January. He went to Juve. No shame in that. Juve are, I think, a bigger club than Tottenham in the pecking order. He's ended up at Tottenham. And like you say, loan deal, not a problem. For me, though, Johnny, and I'm going to play a little bit negative devil's advocate on it. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to put it out there. The other spin on it is, according to reports at the moment, there is no option and no obligation. And as I said on Spurs Talk Show a minute ago, my question mark is why? because the club was forcing the selling club was asking for an obligation, and you can understand why they would want that. But I can't understand why the buying club or the loaning club, the loanee, would not want to put some option in there. If the player doesn't do well, an option means you haven't got to take it. If the player does super well, then that protects you from having a situation whereby you're now going to have to renegotiate on an improved player. I didn't understand it. I don't understand it. And my initial thoughts were, does the player not really want to come to Tottenham, but his options are running short? The other alternative is that the reason why they've done that initially, and for what it's worth, a lot of reports subsequently have said they're still thinking about the option after the fact. And that basically rings true with option B, which is the time it takes to figure out a contract for just a loan fee and that's it, nothing else, is a lot shorter. And given that there's only 5 hours or 4 hours left in the window, maybe Tottenham and PSG said, let's just do the fee, do the deal, very easy contract, and then we'll come back later on and fill in the details around an option. But if it's the former, I'm a little bit concerned about the motivation. What's your thoughts?
Mate, I'm buzzing. I'm not going to hide it. He's a massive step up on Dom Solanke. He's a massive step up on Richarlison. He's strong. He's powerful. He will run at you. He will score goals. He scored goals everywhere he's been. He played 3 games in the Club World Cup, scored 2 goals, 1 assist. Listen, I'm telling you, I can't believe we got this player, right? Simple as that. I wanted him last January, and I've got people messaging me saying, I thought Thomas Frank said, if he doesn't want us, we don't want them. I wouldn't have. No player worth his salt would have chosen us last January to come and play for Ange Postecoglou, who couldn't win a game against Juventus. They're a bigger club than us side by side. Let's make no bones about it. If Juventus had the money, this deal would not have happened. Spurs have had the most opportunist window they've ever had, right? Let me tell you, Xavi Simons would never have happened had Chelsea signed Xavi Simons before Garnacho. His nose was put out of place when they signed Garnacho before they signed him. So we nipped in and we signed him. Same with Juventus, right? If Juventus had the money, we wouldn't be talking about Kolo Muani. And let me tell you, Ademar Lookman, should that come off, would be the most opportunist hat trick this club has ever happened, because Inter Milan wanted it. And I look at it like, even if the worst case scenario happens and we have no option or obligation, what does he do for us? He gives us.
It depends on the mate. I mean, I know you're familiar with the player more than many are. I've watched him a hell of a lot, getting to know him for like 8-9 months. Obviously, I was very familiar with him at Frankfurt. Didn't really watch that much of him at PSG, but obviously then went through the Y Scout and saw what he was doing at PSG, and then Juve sort of kept up with him again. The way I would describe the player, I'm not going to. When I was trying to talk about my perspective on this in Spurs Talk Show a minute ago, I was trying to say, like, I think he's a player that he's capable of amazing brilliance, but he's also capable of in the invisibility cloak. I think at times he is a hot and cold player when he's motivated or when he's on form, whatever the catalyst is for the difference. There's games when he can be irrelevant, and there's games when he can be the entire game changer, the biggest dog in the park sort of thing. And so I don't know what the difference is between sometimes the version of him that you can see, which is unplayable, and the other version of him where you wish he didn't play. And I'm saying that, like, at PSG, there was more of the latter. At Frankfurt back in the day, there was more of the former. And at Juve, he did very well. But he wasn't just unbelievable at Juve. He wasn't unbelievable. He was good.
8 goals.
Yeah, did you see that? But the goals that he scored, mate, like 5 of them were like, Yeah,
but you just landed, mate. He came the end of January, and you land and you score the goals, mate. It's all about scoring, right? That's it. That's what we hear. Look, the thing is, you got to remember that he's going to create space for others because of his pace and power. And by the way, for you, I've barely watched him, mate. Let's be honest, is not the case because. him. I've watched more than a bit of him. So telling me I've barely watched him is a waste of time. And as for slagging off Ange again, Zeddy, you barely watched him, mate. Let's be honest.
No. I know Johnny's watched him because Johnny and I speak about him. I've spoken about him for a long time. Just my take on it with Johnny is slightly different, right? Johnny thinks the player is a monster, and I would just say he can be a monster, and he has been a monster in the past. But there's times when I think he can go missing in games, and I always wonder why that is, right? Why is it just because he can be a player like a Kudus can do it, right? Kudus can sometimes be awesome, sometimes he can go a little bit missing. At Tottenham thus far, he's been very, very impressive, but there's periods when he hasn't been in his career. So I'm just the only reason I'm bringing it up, and it's not to be damp squib on it, but it's just if there's any chance that the fact that there's no option and no obligation, when you think about the logic of why there's no real logic as to why a club wouldn't want an option on a player, they don't have to take it. If it's because Tottenham wanted more time to do other deals, cool. I'm all on board it. But you said yourself he only wanted Juve, Johnny, and now he's come to Tottenham. If there's any part of the fact that the absence of the option at this stage is because he didn't really want to come to Tottenham, then I think that if motivation is the cause for him occasionally being off the boil, then he'll be like an Emmanuel Adebayor.
Well, hang on a second.
Really on his day, but
I'm having that because Bayern Munich came in for him. Man United made interest in him, and he's made it very clear that he only wanted to go to Juve. So yeah, I get that, but is he better? My point here is that we said, did we not, Sean? You and I had this very same comment. At 45 million euros, they said they only wanted half. They paid 95 million euros from Eintracht Frankfurt. We're getting for 5 million loan plus his wages, okay? We said at the time, 40 million euros is a bargain for a player like that when you look at the difference between what you get now and what we pay for a Matthias Tell, what we pay for Odeburn, what we paid for Archie Gray and all these others, right? Sure. He represents very good value. And I look at the fact that is he right now exactly what we need? Does he offer us more than what we have right now? And the answer is yes. And with Dom Solanke out for a considerable amount of time, probably needing surgery, this was a much-needed signing. But am I going to be happy with that on its own? No, because I do think that Ademara Lookman is the one that we need on that left-hand side. Because if you're playing with Brennan Johnson on that left, there again we have the weak spot. But look, it's not just Spurs that have got the deals done. And by the way, regards Daniel, only took 5 minutes to slag off Ange. I'm not slagging off Ange. I'm speaking facts, guy. Right? I mean, would you, as Kolo Muani, when you were approached in January, considering where Spurs were as a football club, and you're trying to sell the dream to come to Spurs at that moment, or go to Juventus and play in the Club World Cup and play in Serie A and play in the Champions League, what would you choose? It's not slagging off Ange, it's just stating the facts. Sure, what about the big deals that have been done?
Hang on. I just want to, sorry. We're playing something. I just want to. Sorry, there's people saying that Fabrizio said something, and now Andrew Burnett saying yes. Lookman, I can't see anything. Let me know if something's coming up. Mate, sorry, Johnny. I agree with you that the player is better than what we have. He is. I'm just playing. I guess I'm playing devil's advocate, but I feel like I'm coming across like negative. I'm not. I just think that it's a worthwhile consideration. That if the player is not I used Harry Kane as the example. Johnny, do you remember Harry Kane? He didn't get back from America until after the preseason started, right? And he didn't want to be here. He thought he was going to City. It didn't happen. But then that guy buried all that shit and when he got back to work and put in a 20-goal season, right? In his final year for Tottenham. Absolutely insane because at the end of the day, he wouldn't let himself down. I think it's okay to ask the question. Kolo Muani is when he's amazing, when he's on it, he's fantastic. But if he's not, he isn't. And if he's come here under duress, you're saying he turned down Munich, he turned down United, and turned down Tottenham. He did. He wants to go to Juve. But the fact that Juve fell apart and he's chosen Tottenham, he doesn't really want to be at Tottenham.
So what would be the option if we didn't sign him? Would you go out with Richie? What would be our other option? Where would be our other option? I mean, if we're only paying the 5 million loan, but that 5 million
loan, it's not about the cost.
Hang on a second. It gives us the money available to then go and maybe buy Lookman outright and do a deal for a centre back. Then I'm all for it. There's a breaking news. Mark Gahey, here we go. In the last 30 seconds, Liverpool to sign Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace. Here we go. Deal in place for a fee of 35 million. Plus 10% sell-on clause included in the package. Gahey agreed personal terms with Liverpool 1 month ago. Now all done. One more move by Richard Hughes. I mean, wow.
Insane.
That is the most insane window. And breaking news also, Bayern Munich and Chelsea seal a new agreement for Nicholas Jackson. Deal done. Loan and a buy clause with a new element of obligation to buy included in the deal for 2025 as Chelsea wanted. Jackson already agreed a 5-year deal at Bayern, 15 million loan fee. Here we go again. I mean, when you look at that, Sean, we're paying a 5 million loan fee. They're paying 15 million. Yeah. I think good deal, mate.
I don't know how to say this. I'm trying to get my point across. I'm not sure if it's landing. I'm not in any way negative. I just want to understand whether the player is going to be motivated to be here. That's all.
We'll find out. I guess we'll find out. Maybe, Sean, what we'll find out is once the dust has settled and the impact of him coming, they'll sit down. He'll look around the changing rooms. He'll look around the training ground. He'll see the stadium. And then he says, you know what, right? If you want to keep me, I'm here for it. Yeah.
I hear you. I think maybe there's like, I think maybe I'm just not doing a good enough job this morning communicating. I'm not saying I love the guy. I think he's a great player when he's on it. I'd love it if he came here and made a statement that made everyone feel like, or made at least me feel like he wants to be here. But part of me thinks that he's just like run out of options. And on that basis, are you going to get?
He's not. He's definitely not run out of options, mate. I mean, honestly, definitely.
It's
not.
the World Cup year as well. That's a good point. Maybe I'm being. Maybe my kind of inner dialogue or inner monologue is being represented.
Listen, I can tell you, go and read back, go back a week, and you'll find Sean waxing lyrical about Kolo Muani. He's just
the player.
The
player when he's where he wants to be is sensational.
Well, let's see if we get this one. There's another dropper bomber. Kolo Muani has joined Chelsea on loan from Brighton. Deal includes matching rights for Chelsea FC. I don't know what matching rights means. What does that mean?
No idea. Who's it for? Sorry, who's the player?
Buonanotte.
Matching rights. Matching rights.
Yeah.
Is it matching the same as the same terms as he was getting elsewhere?
Matching rights for Chelsea FC, CFC.
Is he part of Blueco or is he part of Chelsea?
I don't know. It's hard to know.
Good evening in a different way.
But here's a couple. Marshall Goldo and Julio Enciso flying to France for Strasbourg move to be announced today. I think we should be keeping an eye on Strasbourg. I mean, sure, can I ask you a question? If they do really well, will they want them to not do so well they end up in the Champions League that it causes an issue?
Yeah, 100%. There's absolutely no chance that Chelsea can, in any way, shape, or form. You know what would happen though? Sorry, let me finish my sentence. There's no chance in any way, shape, or form could they ever argue that there's no conflicts of interest between those two clubs. But what would happen is they'd be smart enough that if there was a situation where Strasbourg were like, undeniably close to Champions League football by March. Is it by March is the rule, Johnny, for ownership, diversification or whatever? That would have to happen by March. Right? That was the situation with regards to Forest and Palace and all that shit, right? So maybe Blueco would sell them to some other third party and then buy them back.
He's a desperate move. I heard one. Aston Villa confirmed that Victor Lindelof is joining on a 2-year deal with an option to 2028.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Lindelof. Jesus Christ.
Lindelof. That's how low they've sunk. But listen, they got Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott.
They've had a great day. They've had a great day, to be fair.
They've had a
Harvey
good day.
Elliott and Jadon Sancho. What are we thinking there? I mean, is Aston Villa just Manchester United's feeder club now? They're just a reject for everywhere that
Honestly and truthfully, good luck with Jadon Sancho with that one. Listen, another one on his day when he wants to do it. Fantastic. I don't know, 25 years of age and still like having to beg for a loan move. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of sad, but they got two very mobile midfielders, stroke wingers in Harvey Elliott and Jadon Sancho. I think Harvey Elliott's a good move for Harvey Elliott rather than going to my club, RB Leipzig. I've got to be honest.
You're losing another one, aren't you? Aren't you using Gerst-Ruida as well? Isn't he going to Sunderland or something? Apparently,
yeah. I mean, it's ripped apart. We're getting ripped apart, mate. Ripped apart. Gerst-Ruida, a player that Sean and I, again, since I've met Sean, we've waxed lyrical about. Can play as a six, can play as a right back, can play as a right centre back. Really good player. One signing that's really not a surprise. There was lots of rumours he could be going anywhere, but for me, this is the only home he ever needed, and it's the one that they desperately needed. Donnarumma going to Manchester City. Trafford, you had your 1 minute of glory. He must be sick as a dog now. He could have been at Newcastle, probably playing proper minutes. Now be lucky to see, be able to see anything. Now, this should trigger a move after the transfer window closes of Edison going to Turkey to sort that deal out.
Yeah.
But
apparently Lookman's about to join Bayern Munich. Is that right?
Well, they're trying to do the deal. They're trying to do the deal, which is a bit of a bad news.
Do you think that if you've gone and got Kolo Muani who can play equally well off the left, the right, or the nine, is there? I was making this argument before. You know how much I want Lookman, and by the way, I love Kolo Muani when he's on it. I love it. I just want to know what the deal. That's all I've ever said. I just want to know why it is that there's no option, because that's a weird red flag for me. But if you're looking at Ademola Lookman going somewhere else, I don't know where else Tottenham can go to get a left winger in the next few hours, right? And if that is the case, although apparently Ali Gold says we're still looking for left wingers, and maybe Malik Fofana, something like. But is there not an argument, Johnny, that after what happened on Saturday, how poor we were at the back, and to me it was crying out for a back three very early in the game. I saw it and thought there's very little option here. We should have had a back three, because they switched Semenyo, and even if they put him on the other side and we did a tactical switch and dropped Porro and put Jed Spence on the right and Udogie on the left, they could have just switched him back across the other side and then terrified Udogie as well. Like the fact that we couldn't go to a back three, because if you lose one of those centre backs, then you have no options. Is there an argument right now that you've gone and got Udogie, now that you've gone and got Muani, that actually a defensive reinforcement is more important than anything else right now?
I think we can do both, Sean, because
we've got time.
Because look, we've only paid 5 million for Muani, right? So it's not affecting anything, right? We got great deals. Xavi Simons for only 50 million is a bargain. Kudos for 55 million in this marketplace for what players are going for is a bargain. So, in my opinion, you can get a loan with an option. Listen, I think we should have moved quicker on Lookman, personally. If Morgan Rogers goes there, then great. It's possible. I think Spurs are coming with a big bomber. As far as Muani as a left winger has played 17 times as a left winger, scored 5 goals, 1 assist. As a right winger, has played 22 times, 5 goals, 4 assists. And as a striker, 165 games, 60 goals, and 38 assists. So no mean numbers. But I will be disappointed if we don't get Ademola Lookman. I don't want Leao. I think Leao's well out of our price bracket anyway. Where do we go? Sean? I think it's easy to pick up a left centre back somewhere. we've only been waiting like 3 years, haven't we?
Yeah, but mate, I don't know. I'm just thinking about the market, right? It's so dry. I'm trying to scratch my head around where you can go. Obviously, there's out like left field sort of stuff that you haven't thought about, and there's always deadline day dramas in that regard. But again, like I'm starting to feel like it's a stretch to think not just Tottenham, but like there's not going to be that many names that are currently not being linked to anywhere that are going to suddenly emerge in the last how long we got 3.5 hours. The players have got to fly, have a medical. Now, how does that happen? Like if stories are not already mature, how do those players get from even to get from France to the UK right now for a medical?
You can do a medical overseas, mate.
Or someone get to them or whatever. But it's still. It's still. You probably know about those stories if they're going to happen already, right? It's very unlikely you're going to get something happen. Are people really? Are any clubs really going to will sign without a medical and hope for the best that you pass?
You don't think we'll sign anyone else? What do you think? I think we'll sign Nathan Ake. I think we'll sign Nathan Ake.
We won't. I don't think we'll sign him.
No. So you don't think?
I think Manchester City are wasting our time and have done all summer.
Right. So you don't think we'll sign anyone else?
I hold my hopes up for one more, but I don't know how. I'm not an expert on sort of logistics in that stuff, but I don't know how it is that you get a player that isn't already in talks to get to London for a medical before 7 o'clock. How does that happen?
Yeah, the thing is, we don't know where they are, Sean. Not every deal is announced, so some of them are under the cover of night. We got some super chats, Sean. Should we do those?
Yeah, sure. Is there a 2-hour extension? What's that? Oh, is that if you get the early part of a deal sheet through? Is that how that works, Reva? Yeah. I think you might be right on that one. Dean Law, big up to you, Dean Law. Super sticker. The super sticker has the train has started. Choo. Big up to you, my man. Thank you so much, Dean Law. You're always here, always supporting. We love you. Shut up, the train. We don't need one from you. Is it still going? No, it's done.
A runaway train.
Super Spurs Stevie Blaine, who's the new Super ITK apparently. Super Spurs ITK. Local correspondence from Mr. Butler and our international correspondence from Johnny H. Big up, lads. Big up to you, Blaine. I hope you're okay, mate. Thank you so much for your support. As always, my man, you're an absolute legend. Josh Caress. I'd like to caress a little bit of Ademola Lookman in the on the left wing spot. Johnny, whoever said your manifesting doesn't work, can you please now manifest Lookman between now and tonight? Johnny, don't listen to the haters. Your manifestation is working wonders, my man.
Listen, I'm trying to remain positive. Someone sent me, in fact, not one person, about 10 people sent me a tweet this morning. Spurs aren't be signing anyone. Our business is all done. I think Matty Law was one of those, wasn't he?
Matty Law, yeah. How many times can he be wrong about Tottenham in 1 year?
Absolute muppet and worse, right? Every time he comes on, he says something negative. I said, don't believe it. I'm being positive. I'm manifesting. I was manifesting. I got to be honest with you. Last night I was manifesting Lookman, but to give me as a counterweight Muani, I'm very happy. But we do need a left. We do need a left centre back. Who else have we got? What other clubs are doing business? Chelsea to bank £22 million for teenage.
Johnny, just super quick.
The deal.
Sorry, Johnny. You all right, mate? Sorry, you're cutting out. But just sorry, super quick. Just wants to finish the super chats. Craig Fenner as well says, Sean, maybe it's a loan as Kane might come back. I'd love it if Harry Kane came back, my man. But well, that's a January conversation, not for today. It's never going to happen. But appreciate you, Craig. Sorry, Johnny, you were cutting out there, mate. Sorry. Do you want to crack on with the story?
Yeah, Fulham agreed a deal to sign Chelsea forward Tariq George for £22 million. I'd like to know how much money Chelsea have raised this window. It must be well over 250 mil.
Tariq George is already a Chelsea player, isn't he?
No. Tariq George, Fulham have agreed a deal to sign Chelsea forward Tariq George. Sorry. Yes, the deal is permanent and worth 22 million.
Sorry, I misheard you. I thought you said Chelsea had signed him. Sorry.
No, 5-year deal. 5-year deal.
So Fulham's only deal of the summer is from their West London rivals.
So far. Wolves have signed striker Toki Arokodare from Genk. I think he's Nigerian. He is Nigerian. The 24-year.
Losing Johnny. We're losing Johnny.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're cracking up. You're jumping in and out with the carry on.
Yeah, someone have the cheek to actually ring me for transfer information on your bike. Toku Arakadari, right, has signed from Wolves. Will that mean that Strand Larsen could be on his way? I don't think so, because Vissa has joined. It looks like the Vissa deal's been done. Do you think Newcastle overpaid for Vissa? I do. 55 million. Wow.
Yeah, what's that in euros? Like 68 million euros?
It's mad, man. How much have they spent on strikers?
Well, yeah, I mean, so that's 150 million euros on two players. One of them that hasn't done anything, but he's got good potential, and the other one that's retiring in a couple of years. But listen, they spent the money on that they got from. Let me just talk about Isak for a minute there, Johnny. What that whole story, mate, is wild. I mean, even the ITKs are having wars. You got some geezer, Luke something or other, who's in charge of I think it's the Telegraph Northwest, who he thinks he broke the story this morning, and then he called out Ben Jacobs for not giving him the credit for the story, even though that particular guy was also then exposed as basically saying the entire summer that anyone who thought Isak was leaving Newcastle was in the mud and they were stupid. So Twitter this morning was full, absolutely full of people that were mudding each other for ITK stuff. I mean, look, Liverpool have got their guy in the end, Johnny. I don't know if you can still hear me, but Liverpool have got their guy in the end, and they've got an unbelievable front line now. You know, what was it like? You've got Salah on the right. They're probably going to shoehorn Ekitike on the left because he's too good to rest. He's too good to drop. And then now they're going to have Isak in the 9, and then Florian Wirtz in the front. It's formidable, right? It's insanely impressive, their forward line. And now they've got their centre back that you've been talking about for ages that they needed. Is it close to a perfect squad?
Mate, listen, they have had the most incredible window ever. But for me, it was all about that centre back. I know the headlines will be Isak, but for me, Mark Gahey is a leader. He's a mental monster. He is unbelievable. When Virgil van Dijk goes to the football cloud in the sky, for retirees, he'll still be there. He used to remind me of a young Ledley King, Mark Gahey, but he has it all. And let me tell you something. He will be starting. There's no way he will go there unless he's starting. He will be starting with Virgil van Dijk. No two ways about it. And that elevates Liverpool to another level. You've got two monster leaders at centre-back, right? And you've got the midfield and you've got that attack. For me, it was the missing ingredients. We spoke about it so many times on this show, and it showed. They conceded 4 goals in their first 2 games. Granted, they looked a lot more solid.
Lost anything, though, have they, Johnny? They're still 9 points from 9.
Correct. Even when they've not been playing well. Correct. And that is the frightening thing. And things you love to see. Listen, Arsenal, they had an opportunity yesterday to go at Liverpool because of the situation at the back there. But I think they went there too tepid. I don't think Arsenal believed in their own ability. I think they were too busy trying to come away with a draw to worry about anything else. But Isak and Mark Gahey, I mean, it's like a who's who they've signed. Wirtz, Isak, Ekitike, Mark Gahey, Kirkes. I mean, wow.
Is there an argument, though? I know this argument's a weak one, considering they're 9 from 9 despite not playing well. But is there an argument that sometimes too much too soon can be problematic? Like if you were to sign, think about how many players Sunderland have signed. Think about how many players Nottingham Forest have signed. Obviously, the season's long, and I'm not sure what you can necessarily take from the first 3 games in its entirety. City have only got 3 points from 6, right? They were, in my opinion, worthy losers against Brighton. Is there an argument, though, that sometimes changing too much in one area of the pitch or across the pitch, it takes time for that chemistry to bond and it doesn't always work out? And so, Liverpool have changed half their team in 3 months. It's
I would. I think myself and 95% of the Premier League fan base would love to be Liverpool fan right now in our club. I'd love to have that problem at Spurs where we're signing the likes of, imagine, waking up, whoever you support, and signing Isak, Gahey, Ekitike, Kirkes, Wirtz. Wow. Listen, Arsenal, I think, have had the second best window. I think Chelsea probably had the third best window. But you and I have spoken about the business that Everton have done. We thought that Everton have done some fantastic business, and it's looking that way. Nottingham Forest, despite signing anyone that they can find who's good, maybe they are an example of signing too many players at one go. Can I just ask you a question, actually?
Sure.
Do you think if Nuno goes, do you think it will be Ange Postecoglou that goes in there? That loss must. I'm
surprised he hasn't gone already, to be honest, mate. After calling out the owner in a pre-match press conference, and then all of that logic that we tried to implement into the transfer window and all that stuff, like is he really buying? Because we said it at the time, didn't we? We said it when they were buying these players. Obviously, I'm not that familiar with Jesus or Cunha, but the other players that they signed, it never really felt like a Nuno signing, like most of them. And then when he said what he said, and then we thought about it, and we chewed it over in the show here, and we were like, actually, it does all kind of like make sense that they're building for a manager that isn't here. And then the Ange story came out, and he was like, actually, but he's still Nuno. So, square that circle for me. Like you call out a guy who is a bit of a bully, a bit of a kind of my way or the highway type of guy. Like I would have thought he would have been gone after that game, but he's still around. So. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine he's not long for the job. I put 20 quid on. I put 20 quid on because Nuno was Evan's favourites to be the first manager to be sacked. But now I'm thinking I've wasted it because you can look at Graham Potter and you can look at Amorim and think that they're equal value as well. But
Oh, I mean, listen, look, Nuno, he probably found his hamster's head in his bed, and he's reined himself in. What about, is Pep unsackable? Is Pep unsackable? I mean, if they were to go ahead and maybe say lose their next two games, are we really in the realms of him being unsackable? Is that squad that he's got
unsackable? Maybe. I don't think they would disrespect him by sacking him, but I mean,
look at the money he spent, Sean. I mean, it's not like
I think there'd be a different language. I think the language they would use would be slightly different.
We've decided to part company. We decided to part company.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. I mean, it's still 3 games, mate. To be honest, like it's still early doors, and they always lose to Tottenham anyway. So, like the Brighton one's the only one that was really poor, in my opinion. Although they didn't do well against Tottenham, but like I've kind of like. I'd be surprised if City weren't in a much better position by Christmas time. But at the moment, of the 4 teams that are fighting it out, that everyone seems to think is like some sort of champ. Like no one's giving any other team credit for a title push apart from Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and Chelsea. I think when I suggested that Chelsea would be second, I think I'm probably on the money there. Personally, I think that Liverpool will win it. Chelsea will come second, and I think Arsenal and City will fight it out for third and fourth. But I don't think they'll be close. I don't. I think that Arsenal are predictable. They play horrendous football, Johnny. Like they're not. Did you see Peter Schmeichel calling them out? I can't believe he did it. But he's actually bang on.
What do you call them? Stoke?
Sorry, I can't hear you, mate. Sorry, you dropped out there.
He called them Stoke.
Yeah, he basically called them Stoke, didn't he? He said they're unbearable or I'm not sure. I forget what the language he used, but he basically called them just like just terrible for football and their style of footballs. And then I see Arsenal fans like Igal. I like Igal. He's a nice guy, so like I'm not calling him out for anything other than just his take. But he had this blazing argument with someone on Football Terrace when they said, we beat you and we beat you fair and square. There was a Liverpool fan and he was like, you beat us by a set piece, bro. You didn't beat us fair and square. You beat us by a set piece. And I'm thinking, isn't that how you beat most of the teams that you play now? Arsenal are just set up to draw fouls and draw free kicks and draw corners to try to take advantage, Johnny. So I think Arsenal have become predictable and I think they've become a little bit peaked. And I think that Manchester City are slightly vulnerable, but I don't think they won't sack Pep. No, I don't think they'll sack him. They're definitely
not. No, right now, who saw Graham Potter producing some Harry Potter magic to get them out and produce that result? Who saw Spurs losing to Bournemouth after the first two games? It just shows you one thing, that the Premier League is the most competitive league in world football.
Anyone can beat anyone on the day, 100%. 100%.
And I love that. Guys, if you're in the chat and you haven't hit the like button, smash the granny out the like button, guys, as you always do. And if you're here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. Guys, thanks so much for helping us get to over 5,000 subscribers. Unbelievable stuff. Just been going 3 months now. And our next journey will be up to the 10,000 subscribers. The journey up, and thanks for being there with us. What was I going to say, Sean? What have you got? What other transfers?
Yeah, there's other stories dropping. So Crystal Palace are in a move for Manor Solomon. They're in early discussions. Do we string them along a little bit there, Johnny, and screw the pooch for them, let them think it's happening, and then meanwhile do some other deal somewhere else? Or should we just...
Correct. Yeah. What we do is we tice them with the carrot all the way to the door, and then just when he's about to come in,
smash him with a stick.
Smash him with a stick. Say, sorry, mate, you've been mugged off. He's going to West Ham. He's going to West Ham. Listen, I know we're going to be in the minority, but I say you don't sell him unless we're bringing in a left winger. That's my opinion. I know it'll be in the minority. We need a left winger desperately. And right now, Matthias Tell is not showing it. Johnson's not showing it. And, we are very strong up front, through the middle now. Unless you can see Xavi Simons playing out on the left, Muani through the middle, and he's going to play a Bergvall or Papassar through the middle. I don't think that
you can't play. What, Muani in the 10?
No, not Muani in the 10. I said through the middle, up top.
In the 9. Okay, yeah. So who would be in the 10 then?
Well, you could put Richarlison out on the left-hand side, right? There's a possibility. Richarlison on the left, Muani up top, with Xavi Simons as the 10. And Kudos up on the right-hand side. But I still think you desperately need a left-sided player. And if we have to wait, Sean, another year or another window for a left centre-back, I'm going to lose it. Because we know one injury to Mickey van der Ven and Spurs are in trouble. Just the same as we knew that Man United desperately need Emi Martinez. Have we heard any more about him?
No, they got that guy. They got Lemmy Simmons, haven't they? Is that done?
Lemmy Simmons, yeah. Okay, so I knew Lemmy Simmons.
I think Tottenham should never have loaned out Vuskovic. Not until January. I said it when it was. I said this is silly. It's so silly because you don't have an option to go to a back three. If you get one injury, you're screwed. And we've got 3 hours. 3 hours, and right now we're sitting there choosing if we can only get one done. Should we get, a Benjamin Pavard, by the way, who was a baller? I just don't know if he still got it. But either way, I still take him all day long. I would still have him all day long as a senior leader. He's Champions League experience. I take that all day long. But we're now sitting there going, if we've only got time for one more, should it be Lookman or should it be a centre-back? And we're thinking that we're going to get Nathan Ake when we've been absolutely cock-blocked by City all summer. What are we doing here? And now there's probably not enough time to get both. And either way, Johnny, you're absolutely spot on. If we get a centre-back but not a left-winger, we're screwed. We're not screwed, but we're dry. And if you get a left-winger but not a centre-back, one injury and you're screwed. And even without the injury, we're playing 2 games a week as of 2 weeks' time. Until January. So why loan out Vuskovic? Keep him back until January, and then as soon as we at least know what Dragusin is like. We at least know that he's capable. I have no idea about Kota Takai. I have no clue whether he's a great player or terrible. I don't know. Do you?
Listen, I mean, look, he's meant to be the best defender to ever come out of Japan, but I think he's more right-sided. But are you a bit conflicted, Sean, that he's gone to your club, Hamburg? Listen, he's gone to play. He's gone to play with his brother. His brother's currently banned. He's a bit of a hero in Hamburg. I don't know if you know about him. He got banned for some supposed, I think, some drug-related charge, which he absolutely denies.
Also by the name of Boskovic.
Yeah, it's his brother. It's his brother.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And there's like murals on the wall. He's a bit of a cult hero there. So at least he's going to a place where the family are, have got a cult following. And I'm sure that, if he's going to go anywhere on loan, that will be the place for him. But I'm with you on that one. I find it a bit strange.
It's madness to loan someone out unless you're super confident you've got someone coming in. And if our confidence was into Manchester City, we haven't learned our lesson, and it's silly. It's really silly. I'm going to bang out some quick stories for you, mate. If you don't mind, Johnny, I want to get your take, just sort of like 10 seconds on each of them. Santiago Jimenez, ex-Feyenoord player, absolute baller in Holland, went to Milan. Hasn't really set the world alight yet in Milan. Rumours a minute ago, literally, but there's a few out, but they're strengthening that he's going to go to Chelsea, although that's been dampened by other journalists. Jimenez to Chelsea as a striker option because of that Nico Jackson's now going to Munich and they've still lost Liam Delap. What's your thoughts there?
Honestly, I don't know what Chelsea... I don't know why they didn't buy Kolo Muani.
Yeah, same.
They're probably too busy. Right? I mean, honestly, if you're putting the two side by side, there is no comparison, mate. If you told me we were signing him 2 years ago, probably would have been reasonably excited. Now, no thanks. No. I think it's just to make up the numbers, Sean. Listen, they must have a couple in the backyard they can pull out and shove up front, Chelsea. Or just sign one from Strasbourg. I'm sure you can do a deal there. They must have a striker.
Well, that's probably one of their own, right, through Blueco. Right. Brian Hill's gone to Girona. Johnny, what's your thoughts on that one, mate? Good riddance. 10 million quid, right? 10 million euros or 10 million quid?
10 million euros. Unbelievable bit of business. He wanted us to tear up his contract and let him go for nothing. People said you'd be lucky to get a bag of crisps. But we got £8.6 million for a striker that gets blown over in the wind. Great bit of business. Business.
Victor Boniface is obviously he failed his medical to Milan. I'm not sure why he failed, but he's now.
Seen his knee? Have you seen that knee?
I don't know. Is it? No, I don't. Is it? He's got. Is he screwed? Is he?
He looks like he flew out to Jaipur or something in one of these back streets to have a knee job. Right? Honestly, scars all. It's honestly.
No disrespect to the Jaipur medical team.
Sure there's some very good surgeons in Jaipur, but it was the first one that came to my head on top of my head.
All right. We're getting cancelled in 1,000 different countries. Love it. Apparently, the story here is Goal.com reports that West Ham are moving for him. Would they buy an injured player? I mean, how bad? I don't know. Is his injury really bad?
I don't understand that one. They had a striker that got smashed up in a car accident, and they didn't want to sign him. They bought Callum Wilson, right, who spends more time on crutches than anyone else. Right.
By the way, did you see Jared Bowen's his unbelievable move? Did you see it?
No,
where he dribbled through half of the team, and then he went to shoot, and then it felt like as he was taking his shot, Callum Wilson tried to put his foot through it and smashed it over the bar, and Jared Bowen turned around and went, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?" Unbelievable. He was so pissed off. He was furious.
Player, Sean, that when he was playing for Hull, he couldn't stop scoring. I absolutely loved him. And people turn around and say, yeah, that's the Championship. And look where he is now. Yeah, West Ham. But he's better than that level. He should be playing at a top club, Jared Bowen.
Apparently, your boy, William Osula.
Oh, yeah.
has had an inquiry from Aston Villa for deadline day.
Wow.
I don't know how these things can still happen with 4 hours. Like, well, no, it's 4 o'clock. It's 5 minutes to 4.
Sean, you think
it's 3 hours.
Yes, but Sean, look, we know he's going to be a top talent, but we also know about the relationship between the Egyptian boss and the Saudis in Saudi Arabia and the Saudi PIF fund that owns Aston Villa. We know about Jacob Murphy being hauled off against his will to help Aston Villa out with FFP and PSR. So this one wouldn't surprise me with the fact that, having signed Vissa and Voltemade, that options and chances for him will be, Osula will be slim. But Osula is a real talent. I like the way he took his goal. I've never taken the time to scout him, mate, but I trust what you said, and obviously he took his goal fantastically well. I don't know, I'm not that familiar with him. Just can anybody, Johnny, unless you can anybody in the chat? There's 1,200 people here, by the way. It's amazing to see. Please smash the like button, smash the subscribe. You know the game, and we'll give away some free shirts in a couple of days. By the way, get over to okjersey.com, sponsor of the show today. 8% discount using the code FINK on all of your shirts, no matter who you support. Big up to them, big up to you. Can anybody please explain to me what the extension is? Johnny, do you know? Is it a thing where if a club thinks they can get a deal done but they're not quite ready, if it happens at like 6:50 or 6:45, do they phone up the Premier League and say, I need an extension to get this one done? Is that how it works? If it's done in principle and they need extra bits and bobs, then that often they give them an extension. That's not something, if you go in with a small one and you ask for it to be enlarged, not that sort of extension. This is this is just the transfer window extension under circumstances. Was it Spurs that the facts got lost? Which signing was that? I'm trying to think. Spurs had one where the facts went astray and we couldn't make the deal happen. Yeah, a facts deal sheet. Can you imagine? I mean, the facts got lost. What other ones have you got there, Sean? There's loads. If you see any bombers,
Tyrell Malacia is going to go to Turkey, but they've got a week extra, haven't they? So that'll probably happen. Yeah, sorry, Johnny, you wanted to come in with something more pertinent?
No. I'm just saying, guys, if anything drops, because Sean and I are here, I said 20 million for Manor Solomon. I was laughed out of court. They said you'd be lucky to get 10. 20 million. I mean, listen, 20 million for Manor Solomon, 8 million for Brian Gill, 28 million pounds towards another signing. Surely, Sean, we're only paying 5 million for Muani.
But Johnny, I'm not trying to play God here, but how do you get a medical to someone? How do you get it done? It has to happen somewhere. You can't sign a player without a medical, surely. You can't take that chance.
Barry Redknapp was around now. He'd ring up the guy down at the pub. Barry, get down here, right? You've got some medical experience. Give them the once over, will you? That's how it was done in the day.
But apparently Lookman is still in Italy.
Yeah, mate, listen. Don't rule out the Don, because, we got close ties with Atalanta. Remember who we bought Romero from? Who can remember the deadline day deal for Bentancur and Kulusevski that no one thought was coming?
Yeah,
maybe it'd be a deadline day deal.
What are we saying? Are we saying? I know people are saying just do the medical abroad, and that's fine abroad. So are we saying that we'll just hire a local doctor in Italy to just jump across to Atalanta and just do it, and we're trusting that? Like, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm trying to understand in real time what's the mechanics of that
there
situation.
Will be, I think there will be a thing. They'll probably have to have insurance as well. Take out insurance. Maybe the doctor's got insurance, but there's enough medical facilities around. I mean, you can agree a deal subject to medical, right?
Yeah, okay, makes sense. That makes sense.
So deals
done.
I'm
not trying to be Debbie. Everyone thinks I'm being a Debbie Downer. So I'm just trying to understand. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a football lawyer, nor am I an agent. I'm trying to understand.
I thought you were going to say Debbie does Dallas there for a minute, not Debbie Downer.
Yeah, enough of that. That was Friday night or Saturday night. Let's carry on. So yeah, Lookman apparently Lookman is still in Italy, mate. Apparently he's still in Italy. Let's see what our friend Graham Bailey is saying. He loves to throw out a little spurious link. He's saying in the last 40 minutes, Marcus Rashford. No, that's not important. Inter Milan have done the deal for Akanji. We know that already. Yeah. Let's get back to Fabrizio. Let's see what Fabrizio's saying. There must be some more coming out.
Fabrizio's been in the mud. Give him a chance. The guy needs a leg up in his career.
He's been in the mud all summer, but he's been in the mud all summer, but he's got a couple right. Exclusive detail: Chelsea got a higher loan fee from Bayern for Nico Jackson, so it all worked out in the end for Jackson. 16.5 million euros as a loan fee. Johnny, I don't think I've ever seen a loan fee that high. Have you?
No. Listen, look, nothing could be worse than loaning Timo the Hitman Werner. But this 15 million, I honestly, I'm thinking to myself that the 5 million for Muani, like I said, is an absolute bargain. Juventus paid 3.6 million to PSG for the loan from January to May, end of January to May. I still think that we are going to do some transfers. Look at Aston Villa. 2 good bits of business today. Still looking for a striker. What's happened with Watkins? Watkins not firing as much as they thought. Do you think that's the reason why they're going to go for a Sula? If you're in the chat, and let us know who you support and where you're from, guys. I know we got people from all over the world. Everton, I think, must have done the majority of their business by now. What do you not think, Sean?
I think they're probably still looking around, mate. But
maybe a defender. Maybe a defender.
I think they probably need a defender. I think they need a bit of backup. Are they still? They're still looking at another winger, aren't they?
Yeah.
They said ages ago they wanted, or not loud. They said about 3 weeks ago that they were still looking for 6 players. 2 of them were wingers. They ended up getting Grealish, and they got Tyler Dibbling. Was there anyone else they were maybe looking for? I'm trying to think whether that
they said they said he needed defenders because he's got so many injured. I mean, Newcastle, Liverpool have spent £447 million this window. They have got money back. They've got Harvey Elliott. They've got Quansah. They've got
how much have they spent this window?
447 million. Someone said.
Right. But yeah, but
they have got money back. Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez. Quansah. Darwin Núñez. Quansah. Harvey Elliott. Who else they've sold? I'm trying to think who else.
I'll get this. Get the sheet.
Oh yes, Diaz, 70 million. Yeah. Okay,
that was amazing money. That was amazing money for them, by the way. Yeah. Amazing.
It looks to me like some people have paid well over the odds. That's why I'm saying to you that I think Xavi Simons for 50 million.
Best deal. Arguably, in terms of like quality versus value for money, Johnny.
Yeah,
I can't think of another team that has signed 2 players relative as comparable to the market. I'm not sure who's got a better. I think Liam Delap for 20 million quid was unbelievable value. I know he's got injured, but I think
Mark Gahey, 35. Mark Gahey, 35 million.
Also very impressive. But that was the context there of 1 year left on his contract, right? But Tottenham to get Kudus and Xavi Simons for less money than what Florian Wirtz cost, significantly less money. I think that's pretty impressive. And Kolo Muani, you're right, 5 million. Look, maybe tomorrow I'm going to wake up and apologize to everyone for putting a Debbie on it. But maybe it's part of my own like mental zeitgeist today. But I want to know why it is that there was no option. And if there is an option after the fact, then it's great. But if he doesn't want to be here, then I think you'll see the worst version of him.
Let's call him live on the show. Let's call him live on the show.
Let's call him and see what I'll call someone. I'll call Helga. See what she says about it. How about that? You know?
Let's have a look.
By the way, Johnny, have you put your flights to Bodo yet?
No, but I'm looking at doing what we did before.
Yeah.
Looking at doing that one. Hang on a second. Let's see what's happening live in the window. live stream. Let's see what have we got here. I'm on the wrong one. Sorry. Let's go here. Nelson undergoing a Brentford medical. Reece Nelson. There's a shock. I thought he was going to go to Fulham. Just dropping. Reece Nelson is undergoing a Brentford medical now. They have agreed a loan plus an option to buy. See, they can't even sell him. They can't even sell him. A loan with an option. Wow. Who have given him...
Not a bad player.
No, but again, a loan. You know, living the life.
I've been saying it, mate. Listen, I've been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks. Not that I'm ever claiming anything, but I think that the loans are the way to go. Every deal should be a loan deal, mate. Every deal should be, as long as you get an option, which is why I'm a little bit concerned about the Muani deal. But every deal should be a loan with an option because you get to try before you buy, and if the player doesn't end up, being what you thought, let him go. And if the player is, you get the first right of refusal on a new deal or on the permanent later on. Like, I think that loans are the way. You'll see a never-ending increase in loans before you buy, because if everyone's doing it, the buying club when they're buying from them and the selling club when they're buying from somewhere else, if everyone's doing loans, you get to kick the can down the road on the option, and you also get to kick the PSR and the FFP obligation. So you get a year to figure it out how to do it. So I think it's going to be an ever-present. I think over the next 2 years, you're going to see a massive ramp up of loans on all deals.
Wouldn't be surprised. But the thing is, it's been linked. Tell me something. There's so many medicals going on here now. I bet if you had a heart attack, you'd struggle to get a doctor. There's medicals going on everywhere, right? Reece Nelson.
Where's the nearest defibrillator? Unfortunately, it's on a plane on its way to Atalanta for Ademola Lookman.
Yeah. Sonny Lemons is undergoing his medical as we speak at Charrington's new training ground. United have agreed a deal for the Royal Antwerp goalkeeper for 18.2 million plus add-ons. Where does that leave Emi Martinez? Is he going to end up in Saudi, Sean? Like where we
or Turkey, right? They get a week extra, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, just to get Aston Villa out the shtuk at the last minute.
I'd bet £100 right now that he's going to end up in one of those two countries in the next 7 days. Personally, possibly.
More than likely, Zinchenko to stay at Arsenal. Why is that? Because no one wanted him, couldn't sell him. They've struggled. You talk about clubs struggling. Arsenal have struggled. They've managed to get Kiwior out for some reason. Didn't want to go to the Premier League. There was interest from Palace, and he's gone to Porto. But getting him out has enabled Arsenal to bring in Hincapié.
Hang on, sorry, Johnny. When did this happen? I didn't know this. When did that happen?
When did that happen? When did this happen? He wasn't playing last night. He wasn't signing. He wasn't playing last night. And
when did he have a new contract?
When? It must have been today or in the last day.
This is the problem with being a streamer, mate. You take 1 day out to go to the football, another day out because you're hungover, and all of a sudden you're missing things in the story and you look like you're in the mud. I haven't seen this. Reported on Sky Sports 2 hours ago. I can't see that. I'm looking at Emi Martinez on Google. I've gone to the news tab. There's nothing about his contract.
Well, he's probably missed out on going to Manchester United. Here's another one that's dropping. Just when we said that Everton maybe had done a business, I said they could maybe do with another defender. Bang. Merlin Rowe. Apparently he's magic, Merlin. Merlin Rowe, deal agreed between Everton and Freiburg, is a loan plus an obligation to buy. It's understood there is an initial loan fee of 1.7 million and the permanent fee will be worth a total of 19 million. So Everton will end up paying just over 20 million for the player. And there's also a 10% sell-on. Roll has been on Merseyside having a medical, another one having a medical and finalising terms. Wow, these medicals, man. It's a good business, isn't it?
He's a bit of a versatile player, Merlin Roll, from my experience, from my knowledge of him. He's like a bit of a second striker, a bit of an AM 10.
Right back.
I don't know too much about Merlin Roll.
Yeah.
The Freiburg player.
Isn't he not a right back? Hang on. No, you might be right. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, beg your pardon. I misread that. Sorry, I thought it said right back as a winger. Stuttgart have completed the signing of the player targeted by just about everyone and signed by no one, Bilal Al-Khanous, £26 million. Leicester selling up everybody, aren't they? I mean, I can't see them coming back up.
Yeah, Stuttgart needed someone, though, to replace Voltemade, right?
Yeah, hang on just 1 second, Sean. Keep the thought going.
The thought was relatively finished on that one. I mean, Bilal Al-Khanous, I'm glad he didn't come to Tottenham. I think he wasn't ready for the Premier League. I think it was probably the smart move from everybody that was looking at him. Whenever I saw him, I just thought he was a clickbait. I thought he was a highlight merchant. I always thought he was always just picking the difficult path that looked good rather than the correct path that created more movement and more opportunity. So I was never impressed with him when I saw him, although he's probably a guy with great potential. Something about it didn't make sense to me. If he's gone to Stuttgart, I think it's not a bad move for him. Go to that league. It's a step between the Championship and the Premier League. You might see him in a couple of years come back. And obviously Stuttgart need to replace their boy Voltemade. I don't know if they're going to do it though. Johnny?
Well, no, I mean, obviously, the one we've got to talk about, for me, is the fact that my club. I mean, Sean, let's go and do the other club. Should we just pop along to the other club just to break the ice a bit? Let's do so.
It's that time once again. It's time to check in. We're going round the world to all our second teams.
Yeah, it's been an exciting week. Let's start with my club in Italy, Cremonese. We've just signed Jamie Vardy. Here we go from Fabrizio Romano. There's hopefully some life left in those 38-year-old legs. Just shows you if you're going to play, you can definitely extend your career if you're out in Italy. They managed to win again, 3-2 at home to Sassuolo.
Yeah,
Sassuolo, and scored a goal in the 93rd minute. A penalty at home to take the lead. What else do we have? Roma.
Elche, mate. Elche sitting seventh.
Well, we'll come along to those. You got them all?
Okay.
I've got them all, right. So where are we now? Yes, the Chats team, Brest, unfortunately lost 3-1. Lens, and Brest and my team Metz are sat 17th and 18th in the league. We got 1 point between us both. Metz haven't scored, haven't done anything. I don't think we're -5 goal difference in 3 games, so not doing very well. Your team, Elche, 2-0 winners against Levante. Rafa Mir and Rodrigo Mendoza, 2-0.
Undefeated, mate, in 3 games, buddy.
Yeah, Elche lying 7th. And my team, Athletic Bilbao, 3rd at the moment in the league. Your team, Roma.
2nd.
What, are we? No,
yeah,
we're not.
Athletic Club.
Athletic Club, yes, we're 3rd.
3 from 3.
Yeah, 3 from 3. Well, we're 2nd, but we're 3rd on goal difference because we've only got
the 2nd.
No, not according to mine.
No, there's only 2 teams on 9 points. You and the champions.
Maybe I've done the screenshot before full time. Beg your pardon. Roma won. Matthias Sul, a 1-0 win against those pizza lovers down in Pisa. The Chats Championship team, Bristol City, won 4-3 at Hull. Good win. Bristol City doing very well, actually. Sitting in 6th place.
Yep.
My team, Portsmouth, who won 1-0 at home to Preston, doing very well. Your team, though, Birmingham, surprisingly lost 2-0, mate. It was a bit of a surprise. And, yeah, there's a picture of here we go, of Jamie Vardy. I wonder, has he taken the missus with him? Probably not. Probably cost him a fortune.
How has that particular editor managed to get the picture of him in a shirt when we can't get you in a real shirt, mate? That's the real question here.
Well, this is the whole thing. Had no problem getting a Cremonese, no problem getting any of the shirts, but for some reason, Cremonese is very difficult. Very, very difficult to get. I've searched low and high, and I have got one coming
in the Chinese market for Cremonese shirts, mate, because they don't realise what we're trying to do here on Football Inc. You know, hopefully in a couple of years' time, when this channel's at 50,000 subs, and they know that whichever team's coming up from the Belgium second division into the Belgian Premier, then there's going to be 10,000 people that are buying one of those shirts. So hopefully OKJersey.com are going to be aware of the opportunity. We're going to start bringing out, Cremonese shirts and Elche and the rest.
They got everything else. Here's another bit of breaking news. Joe Gomez is set to stay at Liverpool no matter what happens, despite interest from AC Milan and from Brighton. He will not be leaving the club. I said to you, there's no way they can let him go. They now only have 5 centre-backs. They have Leone now. The kid who's just been called up to the Italian squad, which is great news for him. And they're not letting him go. Here's another one. They're dropping like flies. Marseille have agreed to sign Emerson Palmieri from West Ham in a permanent deal. Palmieri has not featured in the squad for any of West Ham's 2 Premier League games so far. The defender has also not involved in the club's pre-match tour. West Ham have signed El Hadji Malik Diouf and Carl Walker-Peters, who are both ahead of him in Graham Potter's thinking at left back. Here's a player that Illing Jr. joined West Brom on loan.
Yeah, he was a player that we were looking for. He ended up going. Where was he after us?
He was in Italy, wasn't he? Was it Juventus?
No, he was at Juve, but he came to the Premier League. Or he came somewhere, and then I think he was on loan for somewhere. Was it Villa? No, where was Illing Jr.?
He was at Juventus. I'm sure he was.
He was before, but he was on loan. He was on loan last season.
From Aston Villa. Aston Villa.
I think it was Aston Villa. Yeah.
Aston Villa. Yeah. Oh, here's one. Now, could this be the next unearthed gem from Bournemouth? Because they keep selling them and they keep finding them. Remember, they sold us Solanke, 65 million. They sold Hoisin, 50 million. They sold Zabani over 50 million, 65 million euros. They sold Kirkes, 40 million. They sold, Quintera to Brentford. They've now signed centre-back Vejo Milosevic from Red Star Belgrade. The 18-year-old joins on a 5-year deal. Is this another one from their data? An 18-year-old from Serbia. I mean, surely he's not going to be playing.
I mean, Bournemouth don't get that credit that Brighton and Brentford do they, for their data model? But they're obviously very good at finding them. I mean, look, we'll find out, won't we? We'll find out in 2 years' time if he goes for 100 million quid or something, But good luck to him. What's his name?
His name, I knew you were going to ask me that again. It was hard enough to say it the first time. Here we go. Hang on a second. Let me find him. Hang on 1 second. Here we go. Hang on a second. Okay. His name is Vejo Milosevic from Red Star Belgrade. He's a centre-back. Mind you, we say that. Dean Hoisin was, 18 years of age as well? 19 when he signed? 19, I think he was signed.
But a lot of people had heard of Dean Hoisin before he he was fairly well known. I'm not saying
still signing for a fee.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying, Hoisin came with a little bit of this is the next one. A bit like Vuskovic. The average person might not have known of him, but when I wasn't aware of Vuskovic, obviously, but when he turned 16, everyone was saying, he's the greatest thing out of Croatia since Modric or whatever else. Maybe I don't know about this particular guy. So, cool.
I think we need to check just before we go, guys. If you're in the chat and you haven't hit the like button, guys, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, guys. Tell us which club you support and where you're from. Muani has completed his medical, so there is now a free doctor that can fly anywhere or go anywhere for Spurs now, because we were worried that many of these doctors were caught up. I'm just trying to see now whether or not there's any other news. There's bound to be news dropping just as we come out of here.
Yeah, 100%. Look,
Sean,
there's a chance, guys. Obviously, we've got Spurs 5. Sorry, Johnny, we've got Spurs 5 at 8 o'clock. Johnny's going to be there. We've got a ringer in, Connor, at Livonomics. So make sure you're over there. And the other 3 are going to be there. Or sorry, no Sava. The other 2 are going to be there, Estelle and Lubo. There is a chance that if something breaks between sort of 5 p.m. and 8 p.m., then I might pop on to do another show on Spurs Talk Show. But as of now, we're kind of up to date with everything, Johnny, aren't we?
We are, Sean. Are you happy with your chairman?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. And like I said, Johnny, I don't know if you saw the tweet. I'm not calling Sava out because he's not here to defend himself and he's not on the Spurs 5 tonight. But he woke up this morning and said this is obviously before the Muani deal.
Muani was going to get done. I did say to him.
You did say that, but before that came about, he said, "Are we all in agreement, like it was settled science, that this window, if it stays the way it is, has been incompetence and what was the phrase he said? Incompetence and unacceptable incompetence, or something like that." Johnny, I'm not sure if you've dropped off, but the way he sort of described it, I was like, "What are we doing here? We signed 3 first-team players that immediately come into the team, and now we got a 4th." And there was a push that this was a that this window's been a shit show. Plus, we've got Romero and Jed Spence signed. It really isn't a very bad window, is it? It's a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 with Muani, right, Johnny?
Listen, I asked to show intent, and I'm sorry, Xavi Simons intent, Kudos intent, Muani intent. Okay. If I'd have said before this window had opened, you're going to have starting for you next year, Kudos, Xavi Simons, Muani, Paulinho, Cuti Romero signing a new contract, okay? Brian Gill getting 8 million, Manor Solomon going out, you would have said, mate, I don't know what you've been eating or drinking, but I think I need some of it. Right, so you've got to be happy. Look, one swallow doesn't make a summer, but if this is the start of the intent, Sean, if this is the start of Spurs making inroads and actually signing quality signings, not players that have come from clubs that have just been demoted, and you see an opportunity to buy a cheap player, these are all players from clubs and top players, and I think look, it's the start, but we need to see it in the next window and the next window. And if we start spending 50, 60 million on a top centre back, or we buy a top striker, I'm very happy. I'm happy.
Let me ask this, Johnny. Right now, if the window shuts at 4:22 today, who is the top 5 transfer windows in the Premier League?
Liverpool, number 1. Arsenal, number 2. Chelsea, number 3. Yeah. Arsenal, number 2. Chelsea, number 3. The next one's very difficult. I think Everton have had an exceptional window. If we're looking at the bottom, I'd say Sunderland have had an incredible window. I think Spurs are probably, if we sign Lookman.
Sunderland are in there, aren't they?
Yeah, Sunderland are in there. I think if we sign Lookman, we're in the top 5.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's all relative, isn't it? It's all relative. Relative to your own financial situation, relative to your own PSR situation, relative to your goals, your needs, and relative to everyone else as well. And depending on what Tottenham are trying to achieve this year, even if you're being absolutely outperformed by Liverpool, which it is what it is, Chelsea, it is what it is. If you do have ambitions to make a move in the next 2 years, then even if you're never going to catch them this summer in terms of trying to outperform them, then at least you could do your bet to do your own thing that can put you in a good situation to go again, as you said, right? Like, it can't be the first; it has to be the first of many. And so, I say that Tottenham haven't had a bad window; they've had a very good window. But compared to some of the others, the gap has widened between Tottenham and our competition.
I agree. Chelsea, look, it's subjective. I threw Arsenal out as second there. There are, I would say that had Liam Delap not gone down with the injury and they got rid of Jackson, you would think when you're signing 47 players and selling 20 odd players that you would not find yourself in a situation where you're trying to call back Jackson at the midnight hour. Everton have had a very good window for sure.
It's not the best, no chance, Marshall.
Yeah, no, but come on, Marshall. Let's be honest. Well, I know you're a Spurs fan, but come on, Arsenal have got to be in there. Eric 10 months didn't even last Eric 10 weeks, did he?
Hey,
He's got
how you're sacking the manager after you've ripped his team apart.
I know. I mean, he said, "You're not leaving."
I'm no fan of Eric Ten Hag, but like he's like.
I think it's the other way around, mate. He said we can't sell Hincapié. You sold everyone else, mate. You sold everyone else. Onsa must be absolutely kicking himself for agreeing to leave Liverpool for Bayer Leverkusen, only to
some of the other guy, Malik Tillman's a very good player, but when you sell six of your best 6 players or 5 of your best 6 or 7 players, and then you replace them with very good players but not of the same level, and then you sack the geezer because he hasn't started very well.
Is German football struggling, Sean?
It's fucking outrageous, mate, to be entirely honest.
Sean, is German
football struggling?
Well, I mean, look at RB Leipzig, right? Why have they sold Simmons, Sesko? You're telling me they're looking at selling. They didn't manage to get Harvey Elliott, which they've been trying to get. You're telling me Apenda's potentially going out,
and Bayern Munich have struggled all summer.
They've struggled to sign the big players. They wanted Florian Wirtz. They've been linked
because a 50+1 ownership model, Johnny, is lovely in principle, but if no one else is doing the same thing, it doesn't help you when you're competing when the window shuts. They'll be fine competing amongst themselves, and a few of them will do okay in Europe and stuff. But ultimately, in the transfer window, it becomes exposed. Right?
Well, look at Eintracht Frankfurt. They've had to sell Mamouche. They've sold Ekitike. If you were sat in your team and you got Mamouche and Ekitike, you're going to cause teams havoc. They were a fantastic double act. They've sold them. No doubt they found unearthed another gem. But we're seeing a lot of, Bayern Munich have sold players. They've sold players. I just wonder whether or not, like Italy, struggling financially, whether, now's the time where the Premier League is just literally buying up anyone.
The reaction will be very simple, right? Barcelona will get their away game their home game re-registered for Florida. And that will be the start of a sliding slope because that's the way they can catch up on the revenue. Agreed.
All right, Jess. Look, I think that's about it. Let's have one last at the old scoreboard before we hop off. Guys, hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Hang on. Let's have a look. I got told off, Sean, for saying hit the like and subscribe button the other day.
Why?
Here we go. Apparently... someone in the chat. I object, he says. I said, you're not in a court of law. Hang on a second. No, I think that's about it, Sean. That's about it. Hopefully, there's some bombers to drop, whoever you support. As we said, so Bournemouth have signed their centre-back. Everton have signed their winger that they wanted. Spurs have signed their striker winger to replace the injured Dominic Solanke. Who else is they've got their Manchester United have got the goalkeeper they much needed.
How many more bombers are going to drop, mate? Not with Tottenham, but like across the Premier League. How many more big names signing big deals are going to get done in the next 2.5 hours?
Well, what I do know is I think that Liverpool started the window with the best transfer business, and they've ended it on the final day with the best transfer business in Mark Gahey and Alexander Isak. and they started it with Florian Wirtz and Ekitike and Kirkes. So for me, hands down winner. I reckon there'll be another 3 or 4 bombers.
I think so too. But I'm not sure if any of them are going to be unknown at this stage, because I still, not that I understand it, but I still think that it's going to be difficult to get medicals booked.
Are you saying are you talking about Danny Rose's, where you have to Google it?
I'm saying I think all of the stories that are currently in the zeitgeist, some of them will drop, but I can't imagine you're going to have, like, I don't know, just an unknown, a known player that plays for a team that, like, out of nowhere, it's Sunderland buy this or Aston Villa go and buy whoever. I can't imagine I think all of the stories that are currently known about that are happening or could happen, some of those will drop. I'd be very surprised, but I'd be happy to be wrong if there's a currently unknown transfer story that is big enough to capture our attention that happens between now and 7 o'clock. But if it does, and if it's a Tottenham story, then you know that I'll be dropping live before 8 o'clock. Johnny, go and enjoy some wife time, mate.
I will do, mate. Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi time? Did you say, or Wi-Fi time? Listen, look, I will be very disappointed if the transfer window closes and Adamara Lukman is still stuck in Italy, or he ends up going to Turkey. But guys, thanks very much for all your super chats. And remember, on the way out, hit subscribe. And if you're listening on audio, guys, please hit the follow and give us a review. Sure, what's this one?
Super quick. There's a couple of super chats. Paulina French, big up to you, Paulina. Oh, Palina, maybe. I'm not sure if
Palina.
Not if it's Palina or Palina as a play on the game. At work, she popped in to say, my effing chairman. Big up to you, Mrs. French. Love to see it. He's my chairman too until he isn't. And listen, I'm not trying to downplay today's move, because if I was shameless, I'd be all about it. But I actually think there's just a concern there for me. Big up to you. Thank you very much for the super chat. And Blake Els was coming with a super sticker. Choo to you, Blake. Always very generous. We appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you at 8 o'clock, if not before. Johnny, go and enjoy yourself. And everyone else, it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him.